We were completely on until I brought my lawsuit against Vince when I left him.
About the royalties and all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I sued Vince, of course, we had to depose him. Well, let me regress a little. Right before WrestleMania 2 and right before I did Predator,
right,
I stood up in the dressing room and tried to unionize wrestling.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. And there were nobody from the office there when I did it. I said, boys, now's our chance. All the publicity's gone out on WrestleMania 2. All we have to do is refuse to wrestle and go public and say we want federal, because it's federal law, we want union representation to come in. And what caused that, I was in Vegas, and I got on an elevator with Gene Upshaw. Remember, head of the NFL union?
Right.
I remember Big Gene looked at me, and all he said to me was, you boys need to unionize. And I said, I know, Gene. And so I made this spiel to the boys. I said, look, if we can do it, then we can get WCW to follow suit. If WCW's wrestlers will do what we're doing here, we can have a union. I made the big spiel. The next day, my phone rang. It was Vince. He came within an eyelash of firing me.
I was going to ask you, how much heat did you get for that?
The only thing that saved me, and the reason I did it, I had to quit Vince to do Predator. Vince wasn't going to let me do it.
That's one of my questions.
And I quit. I told him, well, then I quit. Because I said, I can always come back to wrestling. I'll never get a chance to co-star with Arnold Schwarzenegger again. And so I went off and did Predator. And then when I came back to Vince, right? Because what happened was I went off 10 weeks to do Predator. Saturday Night Main Event got renewed for a second season. But NBC thought there'd be Jesse Ventura. There wasn't Jesse Ventura, it was Bobby Heenan.
Right.
The heat came down from NBC. We bought this program with Jesse Ventura. Where the hell is he? Then Vince came back, and now the ball was in my court. And so when I came back from Predator, the first thing I did on the set of Predator, Schwarzenegger came up to me and said, Jesse, my next film this fall is going to be The Running Man. He said, there's a part in there you're perfect for. I would like you to do it. I said, great. So when I got back to the United States after Predator, before I even talked to Vince, I signed The Running Man that fall so I would have the ace in the hole. This way I could say to Vince, no.
Right.
Because I now had an acting career. And plus, when I did Predator, when I came back to Vince then, I said, Vince, you won't hear me bring up union anymore. He goes, really, why not? I said, because I'm now a member of SAG. I got my union. I've got retirement. I've got medical benefits. I said, if these guys are too stupid to want it, I said, then let them deal with it. I got my union.
Very
and
smart.
I'm still a member of SAG. I'm 26 years vested now. So when I came back to Vince, here's what went down.
Who stood you off? One of the boys?
Hogan.
Hogan stood you off, okay.
Well, that was because of the lawsuit.
Right, okay.
Yeah, no, during the lawsuit, we had to depose Vince. I told my attorney about the union thing. I said, if you can find out who told Vince in this deposition, and I told him those stories. So at that point, my attorney's very brilliant because they ended up beating Vince.
Right.
He had Vince sitting there and he said, Mr. McMahon, in deposition, he says, has wrestling ever had a union? And Vince, of course, said no. My attorney said, has anyone ever tried to form a union? And Vince paused me and said, yeah. He said, I think Jesse Ventura spouted his mouth off about it one time or another because now Vince didn't like me. I'm suing him, right? And my attorney said, well, did you hear Mr. Ventura say it? And Vince, with no hesitation, said, oh, no, Hulk Hogan told me. And I didn't show no emotion, but I almost fell to the floor because Hogan was a friend. And I found out, my God, it was Hogan who stooged me to Vince for trying to, and Hogan denies it. Well, Vince admitted it under oath in a federal deposition, and he also admitted it on Larry King's show, because Larry breached the subject with him, and he backed it up again. So you tell me who's lying, Hogan or Vince?
Wow. I know Hogan went on Howard Stern, and I don't know if he wanted to comment about this at all, and he made some accusations about you being a wife swapper and smoking pot with you and Adrian Adonis. Was that even, that's all?
Well, first of all, yeah, I smoked pot. Who didn't?
Right.
Wife swapping? Ridiculous.
Okay.
Let me challenge back and go, I've been married 37 years to one woman. What happened to his wife?
Okay, I had to throw that out there and ask you that question.
Why do you think I hate him now?
Right.
that he would go out and say, I'm a wife
Have you heard that
swapper."
before, or is this the first time?
Howard told me.
Okay, yeah.
I know about it. Howard told me when I was on with him.
Okay.
That's the biggest crack of crap I've ever heard. Oh, yeah, I had the Plato's Retreat stuff. My wife and I went down there. We wanted to see what it was. We watched it, and I bought a T-shirt because I knew it'd be controversial as hell.
Right.
Yeah, because I used to wear with the beads Plato's Retreat when I wrestled in '81, I think, or something like that. Wife swapping.